Hello, everyone. So, a lot of history classes, yeah, and that's another one. So, ancient Rails developers left us many artifacts, from mysterious inscriptions found in the pyramids to Aztec ruins where the merp sacrifice ritual was performed. But these prophecy tablets stands out among the rest. Prophecy speaks of 3 hidden ways to sculpt the front end and how they will unleash unstoppable power of Rails. 3 ways to sculpt the front end, huh? What does this prophecy even mean? My name is Svyatoslav Kryukov. I'm backend engineer at Evil Martians, and today we will uncover the truth. We will uncover the 3 ways to sculpt the front end, and hopefully don't trigger any ancient curses, or at least no any new ones. So, Rails is a full stack framework with a rich history, and it might be tempting to think that front-end part of Rails, well, kind of chaotic and unstructured. But today we will uncover the truth. We will go through the evolution and see that it's actually a long game with a clear vision and purpose. To do so, we will need to dig through these 3 layers of Rails history, and let's start with the deepest one, the foundation. It's 2004, Gmail just released, and suddenly everyone wants their web app to look this smooth. Ajax becomes the obsession. This was a harsh world. Building interfaces was a dark art, requiring deep knowledge and mystical rituals. Internet Explorer 6 was the dominant predator. And here's what JavaScript looked like at the time. This is actual code from 2005 required to call an Ajax endpoint. It's clear evidence of a primitive and brutal civilization. That's when Rails came to the rescue and offered a way to build interactive applications without fighting the JavaScript beast. So, Rails offered Ajax helpers, which allowed us implementing partial updates without full-page reloads. A recurrent idea that will shape the future of Rails front-end development. Can you see anything, guys? And you all just sitting there. This is interesting, but okay. I knew that it will happen, you know? Today, I've been said that I'm the only one who has 0 problems with his setup. And this is what happens, right? Okay, let's go back. When we stopped? Around here, right? Just the best joke of the talk, anyway. So yeah, partial reloading, rendering. So as you can see, even like then in 2005, we had this ability to Hotwire-ish ability to work with frontend. So we also had something for animations and effects. Rails came with a prototype.js, a prehistoric jQuery, and Scriptoculus library to manipulate DOM and add some animations and effects. So this simple yet powerful combination allowed us to develop cool application. And this is a replication of the original Tada-list application from 2005, which one of the first objectified Rails applications known to mankind. And as you can see, this is how like our prehistoric Rails developers used Ajax and used partial reloads to create dynamic applications. The first iteration was a huge success. So Rails kept evolving and improving ideas, but the philosophy stayed the same. Rails 1.1 introduced RGS, Ruby helpers that generate JavaScript. And although the glory days of RGS were short, it gave birth to multiple new ideas that we continue using to this day. Like, for example, wrapping ugly things with Ruby. But the most important thing is SJR. It's a server-generated JavaScript. Who heard or used the thing? Not many of us, and that's the thing, right? So this is when Rails returned JavaScript code as an API request response. So it was a powerful way because that code then just was evaluated by the browser. But it was a controversial thing because browsers of the past have nothing like to secure us from some JavaScript injections. So RGS helpers were quite limited with its DSL, so Rails 3 migrated to unobtrusive JavaScript. And that means that we started to write JavaScript in separate files and not just dumping them into HTML, which is good thing, right? And UJS is used to this day. And finally, let's also mention turbolinks. Who use turbolinks? Yeah, more people. Who loves turbolinks? 0 hands, yeah. Okay, and yeah, turbolinks was an attempt to automate process of re-rendering HTML with Ajax, the same principle we saw previously. And it was a good attempt, but turbolinks were not universally accepted, let's say. And because mostly it broke like every other JavaScript plugin, and jQuery especially. So Rails waited for web components to appear to fix this problem in the future. Oops. But every iteration refined the same vision. Server-driven, progressively enhanced, and developer-friendly front-end development. But let's take a step back and see what JavaScript ecosystem was about. In the next layer. While Rails developers were busy summoning RJS, SJRs, and all that, JavaScript world invented Fire, wheels, new frameworks, new tools on a weekly basis. So Rails had to adopt this increasingly expanding JS ecosystem to keep up with increased users' demand because we all wanted new things. So assets pipeline came in Rails 3.1, and Rails developers got access to Sass, CoffeeScript, and other modern JavaScript tools. But with time, Rails realized that we need to improve assets pipeline to keep up with accelerating JavaScript ecosystem. We can't re-implement everything in Ruby. So Rails 5.1 introduced Webpacker, a Ruby wrapper again. We're wrapping ugly things, right? So we've wrapped Webpack with Ruby, and we got access to virtually all JavaScript world. Webpacker tried to hide complexity, kinda, but JavaScript fight back. So once you hit a wall of complexity, like making configuration is almost impossible. You now need to fight with two things, not one. And while we dropped Webpacker later, we still use assets pipeline to this day. And moreover, Adrian will talk about how to work with assets pipeline later today here. So come to his talk if you want to know more. But the most important addition was actually introduced in Rails 5 Rails API mode. It allowed Rails developers to work with Rails as a front-end backend for any front-end framework. And it quickly became the de facto standard. A major part of Rails community seemed to abandon the full stack idea, and the whole generation, including me, of Rails developers seemed to be unaware of full stack potential of Rails. Was it really the end for full stack Rails? Or Rails just quietly waited for the right time to strike? Let's dig into the final layer. So with time, web platform finally introduced the standards that Rails patiently waited for. Web components, ES6 modules, modern CSS, WebSockets. And that's when the prophecy of 3 ways began to unfold. Rails was ready to unleash the full power. As a backend, perfect backend for any JavaScript framework, as a perfect server-driven full-stack experience, and finally, as a balanced solution discovered in the most unexpected place. So let's start with the first way. Obviously, it's about Rails API. While JavaScript frameworks and tools fight each other, Rails focused on becoming the perfect backend foundation. As a result, today, we have an unmatched ecosystem of mature, battle-tested solutions for every backend need. Rails API just works. Authentication, authorization, database layer, serialization, background jobs, everything is out of the box. It's there for you. No external services required. Have anyone tried to work with JavaScript ecosystem? You need buy SaaS for everything. So Rails API powers complex backends for years. And today it's still the best solution for bigger teams who want to have a complete freedom in the front-end department. But beware that this path requires a lot of communication, as you heard from the first keynote, right? That's a big problem, communication, and coordination of backend and front-end teams. Speaking of, the communication problem might be mitigated with documentation-first approach. That's an advertisement, shameless plug. So in a couple of words, you want to write documentation for your APIs first, then your teams can go to this interface together at the same time. And to make this easier, you can use, say, OpenAPI. And the best way to work with OpenAPI is to use Schema. This is a gem that helps you to validate your API against the OpenAPI schema, which works great. If you're interested, you can check the article about that. Anyway, with the web platform finally catching up, Rails was ready to unleash the perfect vision of server-driven development. Hotwire is a set of tools built on top of previous Rails iterations, designed to make server-driven development fast, secure, and easy to use. The main idea behind Hotwire is to split pages into small parts called turbo frames, and that allows you to replace parts of the page with new context without a full page reload. For example, here you can replace your line, the post line to the form using the same post ID tag. And that might seem like a paradigm shift, but it's actually natural evolution of the ideas from 2005. Hotwire also fixed most of the issues of previous versions of server-driven development. To fix restrictive Ruby helpers, Hotwire introduced Stimulus, a lightweight JavaScript framework that allows you to add sprinkles of interactivity when needed. Web components used to fix lifecycle issues, since they provided a standardized way to manage component lifecycles. They are better than turbolinks because they are not interfere anything, so right. And speaking of, like, web components also allowed Hotwire to fix the security issues of SJR, because now we return just HTML responses, not JavaScript responses. Finally, complex Webpacker was replaced with a new, simpler Ruby wrapper built on top of import map. But Rails left the door for modern JS tooling open as well. And there is a community-driven with Rails, which is my preference. So this is why the long wait paid off. Hotwire fixed most of major pain points of previous iterations and empowered small teams and sole developers to build modern interactive applications fast. And if you want to learn more about Hotwire, check out the documentation and awesome talk from Chris from Tropical on Rails. Hotwire is a perfect choice for small teams that want to leverage Rails backend power without the complexity of managing a separate front-end infrastructure. But beware, because complex cases might still require a deep JavaScript knowledge. You will hit that wall. And the third, the hidden way that allows us to combine best of two worlds. Might it be Hotwire plus front-end components? When you need to integrate a really complex component into your Hotwire application, it's possible to wrap it into Stimulus controller. It's actually really easy, thankfully to the web component nature. But unfortunately, it requires a lot of boilerplate. And to fix it, I created TurboMount, another advertisement. This gem allows you to embed React, Vue, or Svelte components, pass props directly from Rails views, and yeah, it requires zero boilerplate. Instead of creating Stimulus controller, you can just use TurboMount helper, and it will just work. So if you're interested, check this out. But obviously, plug, component-based approach, not required, but it's a great way to work with your Hotwire applications. If you have something really hard to implement with a lot of local state, that works great. But is it the ultimate way, or is there something else? So that's the most interesting part, because in 2018, Rails placed a seed in Laravel land, and it grew into something unexpected, a new approach to build modern web applications, inspired by turbolinks, actually. So Inertia.js. Inertia acts as a bridge or a glue between front-end and back-end frameworks, and it replaces state management, client-side routing, and moving it to the back-end side. To bring Inertia.js back to home, to Rails, you can use Inertia Rails gem and install it with Generator. It will configure everything for you, and in a second, you will see the example page running in React, Vue, or Svelte. And that's just 2 commands. And now, with Inertia, you use Rails routes, Rails components, Rails controllers, almost the same way you use them with regular application. But instead of passing props to your view, you pass it to, say, React component and use it there. The beauty of Inertia is that it gives you the best of two worlds. You don't need to manage APIs or something like that. It just replaces your ERB layer with, say, React components. So you have all the beauty of Rails way plus all the like JS ecosystem greatness. So while being relatively new to Rails, Inertia.js already became a staple in the Laravel ecosystem. Laravel flagship products are built on top of Inertia and React, showcasing the power of the technology. So here's some resources to help you dig deeper into Inertia Rails. And of course, reach out to me if you want to talk about this more. Choose Inertia when you want Rails backend power with front-end ecosystem. But beware, because obviously Inertia requires a lot of Rails knowledge and your JavaScript framework of choice. So 3 paths, each with clear strengths. The beauty is that Rails supports all of them, and you're not locked into any single approach. This is the Rails genius. Instead of fighting the JavaScript ecosystem, Rails embraces it. Whatever JavaScript world invents next, Rails is positioned to absorb it and integrate it. And what if the next big thing is coming not from JavaScript ecosystem, but from Rails ecosystem? Check out Marcus' talk on Thursday at 4 p.m. And you should definitely do that. Another advertisement. Is it a talk or just a, like, yeah, sorry. So another shameless plug. We run a new San Francisco Ruby conference, and there will be an Inertia.js workshop there. So visit, come to us, and also the CFP is still open till the end of the week, I guess. So if you have some ideas for the talk, welcome. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.